Hey tubes, Redneck Brian here. Okay, so time to work on the roper again. I just recently got back from Canadian Tire. I had to pick up some fuel line. I got the new fuel line. I got actually 5 feet of it, so 60 inches, if you want to be proper Canadian talking. And I got a fuel filter. I'm actually going to put the fuel filter in at the back. I'm going to run a small piece of line off the tank to the fuel filter, and then to the rest of the line. I think that's going to be one of the better spots for it. It'll get the most amount of flow, and then I don't accidentally cut the fuel line up here, and then I can't get suction off of it. So that's the same with that tractor there. I actually have the fuel filter for it after the pump, so I find it a little bit better to do that, especially with this one here. It has the line comes out the bottom of the tank. So I'm going to start working on this. I got to pull some parts off that. I pull the hood off, like I said in the previous video. I got to pull the rear fenders. And I'm hoping I can drop that entire rear end out in one piece. Most likely take those tires off. Be a lot easier to move around without the tires. And I gotta see what I need to take off that for brake parts and what I have to convert over for brake parts. I don't know 100% yet. Also, a few people might be wondering, because I've been saying in the last couple of videos that these tractors are the same frame. So some people might be wondering, why don't I just transfer the motor, dash, hood, and it'll be defenders and running boards off this to that tractor. Actually, really wouldn't have to change the running boards, because those ones are in better shape. The main reason why I'm not, this is the main reason why I'm not, actually it's more work to pull this engine and the dash and all these parts off this to put them on that. It'll actually take more time and more effort to do that. That's the main reason why I'm not bothering to convert the parts. Yes, they are both the same frames, but I have a feeling, I haven't measured them yet, that this frame, just in the front end, might be a little bit longer. It just looks longer to me. I'm not 100% sure on that. Or it could be just, this has a longer hood extensions on it. But also, the steering on this one is 100% tighter than the steering on that one. And the steering on that one's actually surprisingly good for an old Craftsman, but this one's even better. But that's just the main reason why I'm choosing to do it this way instead of just pulling the rear end, or sorry, pulling all the parts off that one and converting over to that one. So, but anyways, stay tuned. Okay, I got the Craftsman rear end out. Everything's all disconnected. I got everything off this, I believe I need, except for the brake arm. Here is the transaxle. I have one minor issue. This brace right here, the other one is broken. I'm going to show you where it's broken. It snapped right at the bend right here. But I do have both pieces. I'm just going to give this to my stepdad and get him to weld it up at work tomorrow, hopefully. And I can put it back on if I get a chance tomorrow night. But I got to work tomorrow night, so we'll see when it goes back on. But I can put the rear end in the meantime and get everything hopefully hooked up. Heck, I could even drive it without that piece. It's just to help with torque. Say if you're pulling or pushing or anything like that, it just helps with the torque on the rear end. But here it is. Got the hood over there, sitting over there for the individual that wants to purchase it. But next, the roper. I gotta tear the roper down to pretty much this state as well. The only reason why I had to do it this far, I had 2 hidden bolts behind the dash on either side. 1 second here. These actually come in handy. Wire or fuel line ties. To get this plate out, there's 2 hidden bolts in a pain in the ass spot. So I'm gonna have to do the exact same on the roper, and that's pretty much it for now. So stay tuned. Okay, update time. I had to do a bit of a modification. As you can see, I had to cut the old panel out because there's what's left of it right there. It was actually a one-piece panel that came across and up into the dash support. I obviously need the dash support, so I cut it, and there was 2 bolts back here and here that held the panel in. That had the 2 here and here. So I cut it, and I was able to just go right down through there. So, like what, an 1/8 off from the original, so it should not matter at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and weld the seam up right here nice and solid, probably just on the one side. Don't plan on tearing this thing completely down when I do paint it. Probably just going to tear it back down to this state right here, obviously with the engine out. As you can see, I also got the front right fender off. I am going to have to do some fiberglass repair. There's quite a bit of repair needed on the fiberglass, so, but it's doable. It's all mainly on the fasteners. That's just the panel that covers up right here. I had to cut the mower adjustment out, so that's all gone out of my way. I'm just trying to get it to a state that I can get the rear end back in, but I do want to get the brakes hooked up whenever I get the rear end done. So I'm just cooking along at it. It's getting there. It is starting to get there. Putting this panel in here is a bit of a progress. I'm happy I got this in because my frame rails are actually starting to bend out a bit. So I'm going to have to possibly put the middle support back in right here. I'm going to snag it off that one there because I'm going to let the other old middle support that's on that transaxle go with that transaxle. If someone does buy it, they may need it, they may not need it, I don't know. So also, as you can see, the dash mount hydro's out. So that's the major spot in the dash that will have to be filled in, is this where the dash mount hydro was. So that's pretty much it for now, so stay tuned. Okay, this will probably be the last update of the night. It's starting to get dark out. I took a break for a little bit there to have something to eat. But rear end's in, and it has brakes. Got the brakes hooked up. I used the brake push rod from that one. I did not have to change over nothing. Just had to obviously just do the brake, and I'll show you. Here it is right here, and I don't know if you can see it, but on the other side, see if I can adjust the camera. And I can't really see much of it at all. Sucks, but anyways, it had the setup on there for dual brakes, for dual rods coming to the back, so either on the left or right side. So it worked out pretty good. I had to adjust this rod all the way to the back though, because like I'm thinking, this frame is a bit longer, but not much. The whole back half is the same on each, but I think it's a bit longer, but I'm not 100% sure. But the rear end's in, she's tight. I'm going to try and put that little cover that goes right here back on, if it will work, just to hide the brakes. The rear end has a lot of grass in it, but other than that, it's good to go. And as I said, the other brace on the other side, I gave it to my stepdad. He's going to weld it up tomorrow, hopefully, and if I got time tomorrow night, I will put it on. I'm not going to weld that until, I might do it next week, or I might wait till I paint it to weld that. I'm not 100% sure yet. It's solid as it is right now. I still got to hook up the shifter. I might do that now, or just put it on there and make sure it shifts through all 5 gears plus reverse, so 6 gears technically. And stand back up here. I got an original retainer for the belt on the back. It is in that box right there, that Lego box. I'm going to put it on here eventually once I do put a belt in it. I'm going to actually take a look at the stock belt, but I don't think it's going to work. I do got to hold on to that tractor there for a little bit longer, just in case if there's tensioners in there that I need. I know there's a few belt guides in there that I do need, so that will be pushed back over into the corner. Also, there's a few more parts I got to take off that for the person that's going to be buying the hood. So, other than that, I'm going to need to put that little panel back on right there. There's another little dust shield that goes there. Basically, it's to prevent grass from getting up into the steering box, but it doesn't really work. So, but this thing will never be seeing grass in its life again. So I've already cut out the more raised and lower parts. I got to still take off the handle, and there's a few other little parts that need to come off to do the finish on the conversion on this. But other than that, I can actually stick the rear panel back on. I may leave it off, I don't know yet. A few other little parts I'm going to put back on. I'll put on the piece that goes in the middle here from the other tractor. Like I said before, I'm not going to use the one that's stock for this tractor. The gas tank doesn't need it to hold up the gas tank at all, so there's really no need to use the stock one. So, and also, if someone does buy that rear end, they may or may not need it. So I will have this back on all 4 tires when I'm done. I'm just going to keep up on the jack stands for now. And I got a couple tires I'm going to stick on the back end of this. I actually pulled over the LT2000 just to see how the brakes are hooked up. I just wanted to make sure I had all the springs in the correct spot. And it's nice to have another craftsman around here. Then you know how everything works. I knew I had it correct. I just wanted to make sure that it was fully correct. So before I button it all up and tighten everything down, but I got brake pressure. Meaning, obviously, it's not a fluid system. You just put my foot on the brake, and it will work. So I don't know if I showed this. I had to clearance this panel here quite a bit to allow the brake lever to actually go on. So that's one minor thing that was a little bit different. But it actually had the punch outs in that panel where you'd actually have to stamp it out in the factory, where they would stamp it out either for the ropers or for the larger craftsmen's. Or for that style of craftsman. So this shows you how, even right from the factory, how they give you all the options to do whatever you want with these. It's pretty cool, even for something this old, to have it. And I'm happy I bought that tractor with this tractor, all the parts. I'm obviously really happy that all the parts are just swapping right over just like that. So I'm happy I made a good decision on that aspect. Made a bad decision on the Murray, but I made a good decision on the Roper and the Craftsman. So, but anyways, that's pretty much it for tonight. If I get a chance tomorrow, I may just do a quick shot of this sitting on all four, but maybe not. So I guess I'll talk to everyone later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.